I'm with Alison Silva, President and CEO of Critical Outcome Technologies. So Alison, talk to us about why Critical Outcome is emerging as a biotech company.
Sure. Well, Critical Outcome Technologies has been a technology company for over a decade. It's really focused on honing its expertise into the discovery of novel molecular entities. And we've done this in a way to identify specific compounds that have a higher likelihood of success once they move toward clinical trials. What makes us a biotech company is last year we did enter into the clinic with our first candidate, COT2, in a trial at MD Anderson and Northwestern University for the treatment of women with gynecological malignancies. So we merge the two by being a true development company with a pipeline of products that's really founded on a platform technology.
Right, and how big is your team? What's your research like? Where are you looking to go into next? With what kind of diseases you're combating?
Sure, so our team is very small. The company for the past decade has been 10 or so folks, all working out of London, Ontario. We recently opened up a Boston, Massachusetts office in the U.S. To have greater exposure to U.S. pharma, investors, and talent in that area. So we are a combination of molecular scientists, drug discovery experts, and then the finance infrastructure to run a small biotech company. Our first two programs in the clinic are going to be in the orphan oncology space. So in the U.S., that's defined as less than 200,000 patients per territory. So we have orphan drug designation for COT2 and ovarian cancer, and we plan on filing several other designations for other indications. However, we do have a technology tool that will allow us to go after almost any indication. So we're fairly disease agnostic as far as the targets that we're able to go after and the way that we can make our small molecules and design them to be specific. We want to make sure we continue to address areas of unmet medical need and stay current with competitors and advancing technology elsewhere.
Right. And you just mentioned the U.S. pharma market. Now, it is going to be tougher with the new administration coming in. Is there anything that Critical Outcome has had to combat so far with the tougher situations for the market?
So not yet. I don't think we've seen the transition that's going to take place. It's still very early, obviously, in this administration. And I think when there was a pro-Hillary mindset for our next leader, people were worried about drug pricing. It became, the thought process became more of a pro-growth mindset under the Trump administration, and then last week at his address, I think we saw all of the biotech, large biotech stocks plummet in the U.S. Due to some of his comments. So I think we're still in a time period where we're not sure what's going to happen under the current administration. Thankfully, a lot of the orphan drug incentives have been re-upped, so we still have those advantages. We know that that act is going to be in effect for a very long time. It was signed in 1983, so it has a long history, and the Office of Orphan Drug Products has been great in the U.S. with upholding their commitment to the rare disease community. So from a regulatory and pricing standpoint, COT remains fairly secure.
Very good. Now, lastly, I want to talk about the panel you had earlier about biotech, emerging biotech companies. Give us some points about the conversations that came up during that panel.
Sure. Yeah, it was a very interesting panel. We had some great folks, two other CEOs. We talked about what clinical milestones each company would be experiencing in 2017. Everyone was of the mindset that we've turned a corner and really been able to capitalize upon some recent developments within our own companies for lean and mean resource allocation. So there's going to be a lot of clinical news coming out of Canadian biotech. Right. We talked a lot about funding paradigms, how tough it is to get Canadian money into R&D and how that's really a challenge compared to the stage of funding in the U.S. I funded companies in the $40 and $70 million range that are discovery preclinical companies in the U.S. And here, all of the CEOs on the panel are sitting on companies that have clinical assets, multiple technologies. And so I think the themes that emerged were to expose the companies at all levels globally, to partner very opportunistically, so not to sell off too early, do it in a way that increases the value at the right time, choose the right partner. And the biggest theme that emerged is that innovation and technology belongs in these small companies, right. And really we're the ones who are going to be at the forefront of these developments. We may need big pharma because we need their money for marketing and commercialization and late stage clinical development, but really the innovation and technology does lie at this stage.
Right. Well, Well, I hope this video gives you some more exposure. Thank you for your time,
Thank you very much.
Alison.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.